change in America specifically. The president just this week openly mocked the idea of climate change as Americans faced the coldest Thanksgiving in nearly a century.
But the scientists behind this study didn't just look at climate shifts over one day or even 1 year. CNN's Allison Chinchar joins us now. And Allison, they actually looked at the long term, right?
Yes, they do. And they're talking about the short-term problems we're already starting to see now, but the long-term effects of where they will end up being decades and even hundreds of years from now. And more importantly, they broke it down by region. And I think this really helps for folks here in the United States to understand, based off where you live, what your biggest impacts will be. Take, for example, out west. We all hear about the fires in California and other states out there as well. California is known for its fire season, but really in the past few years, we've started noticing it's no longer a season. These fires can now take place any month out of the year. And they've started to take precautions about this. And what do you do to fix this down the road? Another thing, for areas of the southern U.S., we're talking about an increase of extreme weather events, things like hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding events. Those may end up being more frequent than we're seeing right now, or to an extreme level. One thing to note, every single area of this map is expected to have extreme temperature swings increase as well. Now, we're not just talking about heat waves. This also applies to cold snaps, like the one the Northeast experienced earlier this week around Thanksgiving. Those are expected to become more frequent in the next several years and even the decades after them. But here's one thing to note. While this report really kind of breaks down the United States impacts, this is still on a global scale. This is the map of global temperature rise, and you can really see how it's gone up exponentially since the Industrial Revolution. But the report doesn't just talk doom and gloom. Here's all the bad things that are going to happen down the road. It also tries to come up with solutions to these problems, especially because some of the three biggest industries that will be impacted are agriculture, real estate, and the healthcare industry. For example, in the southeastern United States, flooding events are expected to increase. So the Acadiana Planning Commission was created to help address that increased flood risk. For wildfires out in the West, federal forests have already started to develop adaptation strategies. And in the Midwest, one of the areas that is expected to be most impacted by climate change, the agriculture industry. Iowa State's use of prairie strips is expected to help reduce crop loss. And this is important because in this particular report, they talk about two crops specifically. In the Midwest, less than 75% of today's corn yields will be expected, and that same region could lose more than 25% of the soybean yields in the future.
Allison Chinchar, thank you very much for that report.